as the producer of the CDs that we have done, right, particularly from the sound engineering perspective, what does that really entail to be a sound engineer for a CD?
well, the correct term is really a recording engineer.
Okay.
So the recording engineer is in charge of capturing the audio. So really miking of the instruments, miking of the singers, and of course making sure that the recording space is treated properly so that you minimize echo and reverb. You can get a very clean recording, and get the best quality that you can for the product.
All right. So for you though, how did it feel? Because I'm sure that this would have been your maiden in your very first one. How did it feel to be doing this? I mean, you're actually steering the ship, and that would have been a heavy responsibility to go in that direction.
Yeah. Honestly, it was a dream come true, because that recording that happened in 2003, and I was in the band since 1994. That was my first year. So in all of that time, we as a band, we always wanted to record, and we never either had the opportunity or the resources, or maybe it just wasn't time as yet. So, I mean, 9 years in the band, and I had a lot of experience playing in the band, and knowing that we have so much great material, it was really a dream for me and the band to actually put it down. Well, it would have been CDs in those days. So it was really good to put those songs down as a kind of marker as to where the group had reached then, and also to a way of documenting the material we would have been singing for years. I mean, not only the years of myself in the band, but since we started the band in 1980, because we have some of those songs on that first recording.
We kind of encapsulated the history of the band in one CD. I mean, at least the latter half of the band in one CD. So you got it. So tell me something, Robert. Do you have any qualifications in doing recording engineering, that kind of thing? Because I'm sure our viewers would like to know.
So I'll give you a little bit of my history, and it will actually kind of tell you how I got into this in the first place. So in the late 90s, I was working at Carib Brewery, and one of my brands was having a big promotion to win a trip to Jamaica. And we gave the advertising agency the brief and so on, and they casted a Trinidadian voice to voice the ad, but we really wanted something Jamaican. So when I was telling the agency, well, here, you really had to get somebody who could do that Jamaican accent. So I was just doing it, mimicking it to give them the idea, and then they said, well, why don't you do it? Well, I never do anything like that before, But I said, okay, well, let's just try it. If it sounds good, we use it. If it ain't good, well, then we'll try and get the Jamaican. So I went down. That ad was recorded down at 96.1 WFM, and I voiced the commercial. When we finished voicing the commercial, the recording engineer there, a gentleman by the name of Lyndon Livingstone, otherwise known as Stones or Razor Shop, he was doing the editing. And I was watching him with the computer, and I said, you mind if I just see what you're doing? He said, yeah, man, check it out. So I sat down, and he is there editing, moving parts around. And I mean, it was so fascinating. Now, I already had started, I used to DJ before, and I'd started a little bit, just a little playing around on the computer with songs and DJing and remixes and so on.
What was your DJ name at the time?
Oh, good. When I was DJing in school, it was the BBC. Myself and Andrew Christian, and we hooked up with Marvin Marcel, who was really famous for Code 9.
Yes, yeah.
But back to Lyndon, so I'm seeing Lyndon doing all of this stuff on the computer, and I see Lyndon, where you could learn to do this? You say, Rez, right now, nowhere, no. You have to teach yourself, learn for yourself and teach yourself. So it's like, wow. So I mean, seeing him do that and manipulate the audio and move things around, I mean, I was like, yeah, that's something I definitely want to do. So I kind of researched the software and the hardware, and it just evolved. That my very good friend Sean, he actually used to build PCs like for gamers and for all high-end stuff. So he used to know how to go, which wholesalers to go to get the best prices on the best parts. So he actually helped me build my first PC to record, right? Oh. And it was actually with the intention to record Los Parranderos de UWI.
Wow, so you were preparing from beforehand and what it is to know. Yeah. So you still have the PC? Or that, that mashup?
Not that PC anymore. but what I want to add on to is, so in doing that, I did a couple courses. Well, Caribbean Sound Basin was still, well, I mean, its heyday had passed, but it was still open at the time. And I had done some audio production courses as well as a sound engineering course with Martin Raymond there.
Yes.
You know, so I have a little certification. I mean, it's not no top, approved university qualification.
Yeah.
But since then, through experience and teaching myself, and I mean, now there's so many resources online. I mean, you can really learn on your own. Of course, the experience, is a separate issue. And I mean, now we're 4 albums down the road, and we're working on our 5th right now.
Yes. So you have garnered a lot of experience between then and now. So what other lessons have you learned in the process of recording? What are some of the lessons you can share with us?
I think one of the most important ones is whoever you're recording, if it's one singer or one musician, or for our case, a whole band, it is, well, when I say critical, it's critical in terms of making the recording process smooth, that your talent is as fully prepared as they can be, meaning that they know that if they come in to sing, they know they've practiced, they know the lyrics, they know what parts they're gonna sing. Because when you come into the studio, you wanna flow. You don't wanna have to stop and practice this part or learn something new, a shaky here, this kind of thing. You want your recording process to be smooth, both for you as talent and for the recording engineer. You come in, say action, take, and you go down the road. So that's definitely one thing. And of course, the same goes for musicians. If it's chords, if it's parts, whatever it is, that the talent is fully prepared. That I think that's one of the most critical things.
How about like listening, like for you as an engineer?
Oh, you mean like that? All right. So, of course, yeah. Now that's actually something that comes with experience, because I have to say, when I listen back to those earlier recordings, I can hear all the little faults. Things where maybe a singer was flat, or maybe a couple instruments weren't loud enough, or the volumes weren't, as even as they could have been. And those, I mean, if you talk to any engineer, they will tell you a similar story that, as you grow in your profession, you learn how to hear, you learn what to listen for, that becomes sharper and sharper. Well, hopefully it becomes sharper and sharper as you go along. So yeah, that ability to listen and learning exactly what to listen, because it's a specific discipline, as well as something known as learning how to hear frequencies. So for example, sound is split into different frequencies. The scale is from 20 hertz up to 20,000 hertz.
Yeah.
And as you progress, you can actually start to hear frequency.
Yeah.
So that if a guitar player is playing and the guitar sounds muddy, you know exactly which frequency to kind of clean up to make it sound clearer, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Now, listening to Leaf's interview, he was talking about, he was glad to be the second pair of ears to assist with the productions. So do you agree that sometimes like another pair of ears may hear something differently from the first pair of ears, and that can help with refining the sound?
Absolutely and totally. In fact, I think that is a very necessary step. So in those days, I was recording the album, so I would have heard everyone coming to record and hear the song over and over and over, and after a while, you become a little bit numb to it. Because you've heard it so many times, and you lose a little bit of that critical air. So it's always advisable to have someone who's not hearing it every day, to give it fresh airs. And in fact, really and truly, in theory, your recording engineer shouldn't really mix the album, simply because they've heard it so many times.
So they would have their own biases anyway. As well. To somebody with a fresh pair of ears who may hear something that be able to mix it better.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, cool. So we have some lessons in how to record. So before we leave, Robert, tell me, is there anything else, any parting words you would like to share with us before we wrap up?
I'm so glad that we took the plunge to start recording in 2003. As I said, we have 4 albums under our belt, and the 5th one is in production right now. I know that the recordings have given the band a different platform to stand on. I mean, in those days, we were playing Parranda so much. There were so many shows. I mean, I say from November to December, it was Parranda almost every day.
Yeah.
You know? And in those days, were young. We were young and we had energy for it.
Yes.
Now that we're a little older, you know, it's a little bit of a stretch. People have families.
We have grown. Yeah. Life happens, you know,
that's
and move
right,
forward. Yeah.
So we haven't been able to perform as much, but at least we have this whole repertoire of recorded works that, you know, that still give a statement about Los Parranderos de UWI, and long after we are gone, those recordings will be there. And so and it seems that so far we record every 5 years.
Every cycle. So somebody else will do it next 5 years. Or who knows what's going to happen next 5 years.
Unless we decide to do something sooner than that. And I think we should.
Yes, agreed.